All right. Hi, this is Peter Brusso, Master Peter Brusso for the selfdefenseweaponsite.com, and I'm interviewing tonight a fantastic gentleman out of Louisiana. Now be Lester Davis. Welcome to the podcast, Lester.
Thanks for having me on board, Mr. Brusso.
All righty. Well, now, the reason why I grabbed you and said, hey, let's do something like this. Well, first off, you'd never been on a podcast, I don't think, but
No.
You purchased, you're just a JQ Public kind of guy, not a big time martial artist or anything like that. You happened to run across the Defender and
Right.
and took a chance at it.
Correct.
Okay.
And happy that I did.
So let's talk about that. So you got the tool and then you beat up everybody, including the guy behind you, right?
No, I just beat up my friends and family. I didn't beat up any strangers yet.
Oh, okay. Now, you have an interesting background. You know, you've been a bartender and doing all kinds of different things, and so you end up in a lot of different situations. You've been shot at and all kinds of crazy stuff. So,
They even got me one time too.
Say what?
They even shot me once too.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
Not just act.
so you've got a chance to see the good, bad, and the ugly out there, and so
Yeah.
you were looking for something that was legal that you could carry. That, of course, the Defender's not going to help much in a gunfight, but in a hold-up situation, sure. But in a gunfight, best to run. You know.
Right.
But so tell us a little bit about your background. Been shot at, beat up, beat somebody up,
Okay.
lots of fights.
Well, you know what? To be honest with you, as an adult, and I've never lost a fight as an adult. And I ain't bragging. That's just my heavenly Father just was with me, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I attended bar for many. As a matter of fact, I was attending bar when I was too young to even actually be in bars. I was 17 years old when I first got my first bar job, and I had run into some trouble. Usually trying to stop fights and then wind up becoming part of it. And I've also had some background. I said a short background as a police officer with the New Orleans Levee Board. But tell you the truth, as a Levee Board policeman, I never touched my firearm. And attending bars, I've been in at least 2 shootouts.
Wow. I've been shot at a whole bunch of times, but that was always in war.
Yeah,
that's a little different. So you
Yeah.
got the Defender, and it's kind of unassuming. What did you do with it? How did you all of a sudden find out, shoot, this thing really works?
Well, I saw some of the video on YouTube, and that's what first got my interest. And then I've been looking at some other martial arts stuff prior to yours, and I saw where this thing could be a great add-on to the things that I already was already learning.
Mhm.
And it's very effective. I've played with it with some family members, and it seems to be very effective. This is not a toy.
Yeah,
This is not a toy.
it's a real
And
it's a real deal.
Yeah, you can, and I mean, you can enhance whatever. Even if you have no martial arts experience, this thing will increase your chances of surviving an altercation.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear you say that. I actually firmly believe that, and now that you've had a chance to play with it and whatnot, and now tell us about, okay, so you got some friends to look at this thing, and then you used it on them. What was that like?
Well, they said, man, that's a dangerous little thing, man. I don't. He said, yeah. I say, yeah, it's legal. They said, there's nothing wrong. They said, but well, I got one cousin named Terry. He wants to start working out with me with one. He wants to get one now. So I must try and get one for him, and we're going to start practicing with it next week.
Excellent. Well, as I was saying before, I think you're a perfect candidate to be a Defender instructor. We have nobody actually in Louisiana at all.
Okay.
and that might be a good lead in for some extra cash, and saving people's lives and making some money. There's nothing better than that at all.
I honestly think that every woman should have one.
Oh, I agree.
Hmm.
Well, almost every woman.
Well, no.
There's some in my past that I don't think I would rather have them have that. But so anyway, that's great. Now, you also got some of the other videos. You got Ed Martin's OG
Oh,
Jitsu one.
man.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
How'd you like
Yes,
that?
I do. It is again. I had been looking at some other DVDs from other artists, and the stuff I've seen from Ed Martin and yours as well. It's I can get the same results without exerting as much energy. Yeah, I
Right.
mean these things are a whole lot easier than anything I've ever seen before.
Hmm.
Ed Martin stuff is simple, and he teaches it in such a soft, easy manner, and it's just incredible. You'd have to see it to believe it. To tell you the truth.
Hmm. He was just here. I just put him on an airplane heading for Australia, so he was here for 3 days, and
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Oh
we had
wow.
a little impromptu teaching yesterday that I'm going to have up on the site for free. So you'll get a chance to see us all out there learning
Okay.
different easy stuff that you might be able to grab. And shoot, we had kids from 10 years old, 8 years old, all the way up to old farts, all doing the same thing. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool.
And that's the like I say that's what's incredible about your system because it doesn't you don't have to be a supreme great athlete in order to perform these things.
Correct. Yeah, and I think that's you and I are both getting older, and as
Hmm.
we get older, I always have a saying that old age and treachery wins out over youth and vigor any day. And and the fact that we need to, we just don't have the flexibility, and we're not going to have the strength, we're not going to have that speed, and we need to find stuff which we do, which we have that grows old with us. That's important.
And the defender is the perfect tool for somebody like that's growing old or doesn't have the stamina because you see you don't want to be fighting 2 and 3 minutes with nobody. This thing
Mm-mm.
here, this ends the altercation pretty quick.
Yeah, if they're pain compliant, it certainly does. And then if not, then the tool can remove an eyeball, for example, and
Yeah.
that should stop it. And you haven't killed them,
Yeah.
you know.
Right.
Uh,
Because I mean, every now and then you will run into somebody who's a little crazed on some drugs, so
exactly.
and you have to get apply a little more force than you would with the average fella.
Yeah, you got to get a little bit more vicious. You don't opt to take an
Right.
eyeball out right off the bat, but if you have to, then they can't see you. And depending upon how it happens, it should put a stop to most anything.
Yeah. But just about any way you place this point will probably bring them into compliance. Just about anywhere.
Absolutely. Matter of fact, I've got a tool here. I should at least hold it up. We're talking about that point. You can't see me, but yeah, there you go. And
All right.
let me move my there. Put that back up there. There you go. Yeah, you gotta like
All right.
that. So
Yeah.
the tool itself is pretty outstanding. You got a couple of other versions, didn't you? Get another version or two?
Yes. I also have the Guppy and the Spec Ops 2.
Right.
The
Uh,
Spec Ops 2 is serious vicious.
it is one wicked tool, is it not?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's a no nonsense tool. And matter of fact, it was fun to have Ed Sensei here. He was the one that got me on the Defender thinking line. In 2004, he brought something called a duck, which was an S-shaped tool that you kind of intertwine your fingers into. And I didn't like it. I mean, I loved the idea of it, but I didn't like the
Mhm.
shape of the particular tool. So I asked him permission if I can go out and design some of my own tools in the same idea, and he gave me his blessing. And he was here, and I've got him on my walls here. Of course, my walls in my house are full of weapons. They're everywhere. But I mean, I have an
So,
entire line of just the Defenders up there, and he was looking at them, and I was pulling them out, showing him the new ones. He goes, "Oh my God, they're pretty vicious." The he particularly
so
liked.
the the duck is just it was what you kind of got the original idea to produce the defenders from that particular weapon.
Yeah, the duck was the concept of concentrated energy, so to speak, or area onto what we call Kushu points or pressure points
Okay.
in the body. Big picture. Well, what he didn't have is he didn't have a kinetic energy aspect to it like a hammer. And so,
Okay.
the bonking aspect was never there. He didn't have a point to maneuver people around. He didn't have really good grip areas that are serrated
Oh,
areas that grab soft tissue. They had some cut areas on their tool to do that, but just in my opinion, there were things we could do to accent the concept. And
okay.
that's how I got. They didn't have a digit capturing tool, a hole in theirs. There's a bunch of things that and stuff that we brought online that and each one got a little bit more vicious than the other. And it just kept improving along the line. Till you look at something like an owl. I'll hold up an owl to my camera. When you look at something like this owl, it's got a chamfered edge over here where you amputate fingers with. It's got a curved section that fits right over forearms. So from grabs, from chokes from behind, or people trying to lift you up, it does a great job. Let me see. It also has. Let me see. Get this back in line here. It also has a V section that pops right over fingers, and you just snap them right off your body. So there's a bunch of improvements
So
downstream.
it twist that could actually amputate the finger when you twist that owl, that piece, that little D piece.
No, there's a on the face of the owl, which you'll see when we see the podcast here, what we're talking about. But
Okay.
this there's a little spot here that you actually use to smack fingers with, and if they're holding a gun or a knife, for example, their
Mm-hmm.
fingers are around what we call a non-compressible surface. In other words, when you smack a finger, and you can do it with
Mm-hmm.
a standard tool as well, a standard defender, you can shatter that bone. And if you shatter
Oh,
their
okay.
thumb, if you shatter their thumb, they no
So
longer can hold on to that device at all. And
yeah,
so,
you can't pull anything without a thumb.
yeah, they can't hold something without a thumb. And you attack that thumb, and I tell you what, if you have a gun or a knife nearby, get a hold of it and then smack your finger, your phalange, your bone or your thumb with it. Oh my gosh, it's terrible. So, but getting back to the major thing was each tool became increasingly either more creative in its use or added another feature that we hadn't thought about before. Until we get down to the last one on the invention line, which is an RP defender, which is kind of fits in your hand in your pocket kind of thing, and it was an ensemble. Matter of fact, I didn't even invent that one. There was a guy that took several of the pieces of the other tools that he liked and put them together, and said, "Gee, would you like something like this?" And I looked at it for a while. I said, "Okay, let me have somebody build one. And I'll take a look at it." So for the price of him getting something that I would like to market, then it carries his name, RP, or Robert Pearson is who the
Oh,
guy did
okay.
it, RP Defender, and he was just tickled to death to have his initials attached to that, and
Uh-huh.
and so that's
I
some.
think I think I've seen that one. I think I saw it on the site. It's clear, and then
Yeah, it's
the
kind
one
of
that's on.
squarish.
Right.
I think and just yeah, I have one here. Hang on a second here. Working with these things, I end up injuring myself most of the time.
Oh,
So
right.
yeah, so up on the screen is the new version here. This RP
Okay.
Defender fits in your hand, and so it's pretty cool. But yeah, so anyway, I think that these things and are great. I think they're inexpensive enough. You can have them hanging at your front door. You can have them hanging in
Mm-hmm.
your bedroom. Um, and girls that go off to college, geez, I'd send them with a Defender 2, something that has a real bite to
Yeah.
it, because I don't care
No,
how much damage they do.
I didn't think about it, putting them near the door. That's another idea.
Yeah, you just put a
But
push pin, in, on the wall there and hang one, you know. somebody comes
Okay.
in, they're not going to use it against you because they don't even know how it's used.
Right.
I mean, that's a real cool part of this
Well,
whole thing.
what I found interesting, I've been carrying it with me ever since I've got it. And I notice people always look at it, but nobody has yet asked me, what is that?
Well, ultimately they will, and
Yeah.
so you should have your story all lined up as to what it is. And we always say it's a chef tool. Did I share with you
Okay.
that website?
You told me, but when I wrote it down, and I think my wife when was cleaning up and threw my paper away.
Well, let me type this in Skype here, and let me see here. I will. You can go right to it if you want to. Um,
I was gonna tell him it was a good luck charm I got from the Wiki Hookielai tribe of Hawaii.
I like
Is
that.
to ward off evil spirits.
I like that. Cookingtools.info. Let me make sure this is right here. Give me 2 seconds and jump over
Sure.
here. I'd hate to send you to the wrong place.
That's all right.
Yep, that's it.
I've been there.
You've been there before, right? There, you should see a URL pop up on your screen. Did you see anything?
Let me put my glasses on. Let me see.
It should.
No.
Okay, if you mouse over the over Skype, you should come up with a bar down at the bottom, and it should have different symbols on it. Does a bar pop up for you?
No.
Okay,
Uh,
it's all good then. We
but,
won't,
but then again, remember, I'm telling you, this is my first time on Skype, so
yep, yep.
I'm not familiar with it.
Well, usually when you mouse, and it's a Mac you're on too, right?
Right.
Yeah, so I actually am not sure where that bar pops up at for you guys, so we'll punt on that. I won't worry about that.
Okay.
Yeah, so but I'll send it to you in an email. How about that?
Good.
But
Good.
basically, it's a cooking tool. It's a chef cooking tool, is what we call it. And so that passes the muster pretty well. I'll send
Okay.
you the
Good.
site, and we don't advertise that everywhere, but we do have our own little cover story. But actually, it works as a cooking tool, oddly
Oh,
enough. It,
really? Okay.
it really does. Yeah, it's you'll laugh at it when you see it. It's pretty funny. But yeah, so we have all kinds of different stories. Again, if you hold it sideways, it looks like a Christian fish. It's your religious symbol.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they can't take that away from you, right? They're not going to be taking the Christian symbol away from you. That's a lawsuit. That's a huge lawsuit waiting to happen. But
Okay.
so there you go. All right. So the you got a chance to watch some videos and you got a chance to play with the Defender. One of your concerns about becoming an instructor is you didn't have a place. And I said, hey,
Right.
there's matter of fact, I failed to mention to you, a lot of cities, a lot of little parishes, I think down in your areas, might actually have recreational centers. A lot of cities will
Okay.
have classes and stuff given by the city, and they're always looking for self-defense instructors. They're looking for yoga instructors. They're looking for anybody to come
Okay.
and do an inexpensive class for them. So that's another option. Rec associations are certainly an option. We've done them out in the parks forever, outside. Of course, you guys have a little bit more rain and stuff than we do here in the desert, but you know,
Yeah.
but
We just got a bunch of it yesterday.
yeah, we're waiting for ours. We're finally going to get some rain here in California, so we have some water to drink. It's getting to the point where
All
they're
right.
they're going to have to ship in water to cities.
Serious? Is
Yeah,
that dry lately?
that's how dry it
Wow.
is. Think that out. That's pretty crazy. All right, so we'll bring this to a close. Unless you have a question, you have any questions about the tools, anything?
Oh, do you have any instruction on some of the other tools, or just the basic video? You should be able to just use the same moves from the basic video that I already have.
Yeah, the answer is yes. If you look downstream in that video, there I cover the family of tools and I show you how to
Right.
use them. With the exception of the brand new ones, it doesn't have the Ronsonator, and it doesn't have the Stealth, and it doesn't have the RP Defender. But up on the site, I've got a kind of how-to on the RP Defender. Matter of fact, the guy I was working with, he came over last night, and last year, working with him on his instructor's program, he actually cut me in the stomach with an RP Defender that left a scar. So I was teasing him like heck yesterday about it. And when you watch the video, when I get it up, you'll laugh, because not only did he do that to me last year, but he stabbed me in the back with a knife. Son of a gun. And he's a peace officer type. He's a peace officer type. He ought to know better than that. But so I teased him unmercifully yesterday in class, and fun stuff like that. All right, well, that sounds good. Well, hey, Lester, thanks for coming on the air with us, and we'll check back in with you once you start teaching and stuff. I'd love to get some of your experiences out on the floor teaching. Okay.
All right, sure will. Well, look, I'm gonna look into those like you said, those recreation centers. I'm gonna track, see who I need to talk to about getting into there, or maybe some of these churches might have a hall or something like that.
Absolutely.
I'll see.
I actually think you could probably go to almost any church and talk to the minister and say, hey, you want to give a youth female class on these tools, and we'll give them a discount on the tool or whatever. But most parishioners like that kind of stuff, I think.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
All right, there, Sir Lester. Well, you have a good one, and thanks for coming on the air, buddy.
All right. Thank you, and thanks for having me.
All right, and we're going to stop recording here. And
all right.